Hey, how's it going? My name's Craig here, and I wanted to demonstrate my onboard air system that I put on my 1979 230G Cabrio that I put a 5-cylinder turbo diesel engine in out of a sedan. And what I did is I moved my power steering into the middle, near the middle of the engine, so that I could put in a York compressor with some just custom brackets and things that I built up. And then I've got on the York, I've got a double 13mm wide pulley on it that I run one belt from the crank up to the AC and then another smaller belt over to the power steering. Let's see, all my fittings and everything I used are off of old, they're air brake fittings that you would see on large trucks. They're like push to connect and whatnot, which are really cool. Really easy to use and great because nothing's set in stone. Quickly disconnect it and reroute something. Everything I'm doing is still kind of in progress, but it is fully operational now. I've got a kill switch in the cabin of the G, so I don't have to use it when I don't want to, but I also eventually am going to have an air horn and whatnot hooked up. I've got a small tank underneath the G, underneath the over the drive line, and eventually if I want more air capacity I'll seal up some rocker panels or bumpers and whatnot. Yeah, so alright, so here I've got my G. I want to kind of show you my setup. Here's my York that I've got here. Let's go. Right here you can kind of see the double pulley as it comes over. I removed the viscous fan and just put in some electric fans. Then the intake for the York comes over and comes off the air filter, which then is also snorkeled. Then the exhaust of the York goes back to the tank, and it comes back up from the tank up to the little manifold that I picked up for like $10-15, and then I've got a gauge and everything on there. Also pressure switch, I think it comes on at 110 psi and comes off at 145. I've also got that relayed up and also the kill switch that I have. And yeah, I'll start it up and show you how it works. Yeah, so as you can see there, it speeds up pretty quickly and fills up the tank pretty quickly. Kicks back on at 110 psi. Yeah, as you can see, it filled up that tire pretty quickly. It's a 33-inch by 12.5-inch by 15-inch tire, and it was down to 10 psi, and filled it up to about 35 in about a minute or so, which is actually really nice. Some future things I need to build are some kind of throttle stop. I'm going to use a cable and kind of a pull lever of some kind on the inside of the cabin where I can just pull that and hold the RPMs up a bit so that the compressor moves a bit quicker, and I can use it, just hold it open while I'm airing up tires or using the impact gun or something. Also showed that the impact gun, it'll drive the impact gun to take off lug nuts or anything like that out in the brush, which would really be nice. So overall, I'm really happy with it. One problem I'm having is that I'm getting oil from the compressors getting into the lines, which is, I'm not too surprised. I had read about people having to put in some filters that run the oil back into the compressor in the output line of the compressor, so looks like I'll be having to do that. But overall, I'm really happy with how quickly it airs up the tires. Also, it doesn't rely on any electronics really, so that's also really nice. And it also is all contained in the engine bay, so I don't have any electric compressors or anything that are filling up space. Yeah, so overall, really happy with it. Hey, I wanted to show you some of the fittings and whatnot that I used or made to make this all work. It is pretty airtight, which is nice. I just used some standard AC type fittings that came off an old Mercedes, and then I just welded on right here some quarter-inch national pipe thread old fittings. I think they're old airlines or not. And then here I've got a one-way check valve, which keeps the air from coming back into the compressor, which then, because the compressor is not airtight, it will leak air back out of the tank, which I want to avoid. As you can see here, some of the sweet airline fittings. The airline used, it's DOT rated at over 200 psi. It's 3/8, nice and heavy duty, and I found that there was a large difference in the price of the airline depending on where you get it. I got mine at 6/8, which is like a truck depot place. It was less than $1 a foot where I found it. I don't remember exactly how much, but it was significantly cheaper there than anywhere online. The exhaust goes down, and then under the vehicle, which I'm not going to be able to show you from here, but there is my air tank. It's just, for my air tank I just used an old small compressor, and just ripped off all the compressor and all the fittings and welded on a couple more fittings. A couple more ports on it so that can have a bigger port on it as well. Then from there I ran a line up to the front, ran a line back for access there, and then also one line came back up here to the manifold, and from there I've got one line coming off the manifold that goes up to the front here where I can hook up my airline, which I need to build a bracket for to hold that in place. Also need to build a bracket and clean up all my wiring for all my several other projects here. But yeah, I've got a little gauge, which I'm eventually going to run into the cabin, so I can kind of keep an eye on there. I've got a blow-off valve, which I believe is 200 psi, because the max on this is on this sucker is 140s when it kicks off. And then from that I ran it to some relays and whatnot. Keyed power is also a kill switch, so that works really nice. And then from there it just runs power to the clutch. Yeah, so overall I'm really happy with all the fittings and everything, how everything turned out. Again, I really do need to clean up all of my project wiring and all this mess over here from all my HID lights and everything that I put in, but once I do, it'll look amazing, and yeah, it works really great. I'm really excited about it.